Hey everyone, Sycra here, and in this composition lesson I'm going to be talking about foreground, midground, and background. So, here's an image I made, and I know what you're thinking. This is your best image ever! Maybe. But what it's lacking is what a lot of beginner's work lacks, which is it looks flat. Everything is pretty much on the same plane. We have a horizon here, which is, just everything is kind of sitting on this horizon. So it's very flat, it's boring, it's not telling much of a story. Everything is just here. So let's see if we can make this more interesting. And I purposely tried to make a drawing that is not so technically impressive because I wanted to really highlight that this is something that at any skill level you can apply to improve your drawings. So let's begin. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to raise the horizon up. So just by doing this, putting the horizon higher, and I'm not completely satisfied with the placement because it's in the kind of in the middle of the page, so I might adjust that. But for now, just by doing that, I've created more space. It feels like, okay, this house is in front of the mountains and the sun and these people too. So there's overlapping, and that's very important because now you're getting a sense of depth. So now we have at least a background and a foreground. So to get a midground, all you have to do is, that same thing, separate it one step further. And just having as many layers as you can in your image usually is a good idea because it creates more depth. And by layers, I don't mean, like Photoshop layers. I mean areas of overlapping shapes, certain things overlapping other things. So for instance, I can take the sun and let's just put it behind this mountain. Again, now that's another overlapping element. Maybe like that. Maybe it's sunset. So we've got our sun back there. And what else can we do? So then we can separate things a bit further. We can get this guy and this house and make some kind of relationship with that. So right now he's a bit too big for his house. So let's just scale him to size. And that's a little bit more appropriate, although to open his door he has to, jump. Whoa! Then open his door and then he can go inside. And he has to jump up to see out of his window. Anyway, that's getting sidetracked. So, okay, so now he's in scale. And the tree, we can, overlap this as well, have it overlapping the house just a bit. And then, again, a little more depth, a little more interest. And let's say this girl is in the foreground. And maybe she is facing the other way. So flip her horizontal, and maybe she's hiding behind this bush. So you can make the bush bigger, maybe have that overlapping, and the girl can also be a bit bigger because she's in the foreground, and maybe something like that. So now we have a story. We have this guy, and looks like he's coming home, and it's sunset, and this girl is looking behind this bush, and this guy's not very happy. Maybe he doesn't like his job. But anyway, just having this separated like this, it's got so much more of a story to it. Another thing that's an idea is to make sure you don't have to, but if you, for instance, bring your foreground a little bit out of focus, what that does is it gives the impression that, okay, you're focusing on the midground, and you could do the same thing to the background too. You could kind of put that out of focus. So the focus really is on what's happening here with this guy in this house, and so now this is telling that story, and it's a good idea to have your main area of interest in the midground. It just creates more variety, because then you have foreground that's not defined, and then midground that's defined, and then background that's not defined. So it goes, from undefined, defined to undefined. If you had the area of interest in the foreground, you can do that too, but then it would be defined and then undefined, undefined, right? So there's less change that's going on. But yeah, so try this in your own images to have a clear sense of things, in the foreground and in the background, and overlapping shapes. Just going to lower that bush because it looked a bit weird, like it's floating. And the next lesson is going to be on leading the eye. So, hope this helped, and thanks for watching.